am finishing up my Out of Africa liquid soap. Now there's none of my actual Out of Africa soap in it because it's got sodium hydroxide, and sodium hydroxide tends to make liquid soaps very sticky, kind of slimy. So it's a potassium hydroxide. So I took some of the Sabon Beldi Hammam, which we made earlier, and you can go check out the liquid soap line if you want to know how to make that. And it's got Ghana soap from Africa, so Ghana black soap, and then some black soap also sourced in Ghana from Sapphire Blue. It's just, yeah, it's a little different, but so I just mixed the three together and added, I did add some of the same ingredients. I added my South African lavender and my orange essential oils to it, so it has the same similar scent. Not exactly, but pretty darn close. It's super fun. So come and join me in my soapy kitchen while I show you how to take your African black soap and turn it into African liquid soap. Black soap liquid. So because African black soap is made with potash, that's actually a form of potassium hydroxide, and that's why it's softer generally than here's the Moroccan Beldi Hammam. That's why it's softer. Now this was made with pure sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide, and these were made, however they were made in Ghana. I think this one doesn't say where it's from. This one was from West Africa. So let's start with, let's go 50. We'll go 50 grams of each one. Now if you want to learn how to make the Moroccan Hammam Beldi, this is made with black olives. It is a really neat soap, but super soft. And you can either just make a liquid soap with this. It's rich in olive oil. I think I even used rice bran oil in this one, but it's got a lot of olive oil too. There's also coconut in there because I wanted more bubbles. This is the base from my facial soap that I have little scrubby gloves that go with it. Oops. So let's measure out some of each of these, and then we'll add some water and put it in the crock pot to just kind of simmer and do its thing until we're ready. So let's zero that. Grab a spoon and a knife. Spoons. I'm going to go 50, 50, and 50. May as well use the sources that I've got. I am looking into making my own potash. I've been doing lots of research, and there are a few people who have shared their methods. I'm trying to stick to the African soap makers because they're the ones who've been doing it for 100 generations. I mean, it's I don't want to go with hardwood. I'm definitely going to go with the soft. Okay, what happened here? Let's try again. 0, 0. I think it's time for a new scale for me. Yeah, 50. I'm going to go up to 100. Nope, 95. 100. And then this is the newest one. Now they all smell completely different, but they have that kind of burnt smell. So I think as much as I love making my own soap, I'm going to definitely keep incorporating the authentic soaps from Africa if I can get them, as long as I can get them, to support those other soap makers in Africa. I mean, we all have to have our secrets, right? And this is very different than the other two. Let's see if I can get 150 grams off of there. A little bit more. You see how every recipe differs? 50. So we've got 150 grams. This one's the strongest smelling of the three. And looks like it actually has some of the ash in there rather than just the coconut. So we will see. Of Africa inspired liquid soap made with Ghana black soap and my Savon Belly Hammam. Savon. So I'm just going to strain it because there seems to always be little bits left over that aren't always a nice thing to have in a liquid soap. So we'll take that away. And then I'm going to add my South African lavender and my not South African lavender, my lavender essential oil from South Africa and my orange essential oil. That's from Brazil though this time. All right, so we've got our fragrance added. Our water was added when we added our soap, and I did add my paraben DU to this as well. And next, we are going to start adding the methyl cellulose to thicken it. So I'm just going to take spoonfuls, and it might take all of this. That's okay. And I'm going to start with about 1/4 cup. That might be all we need. But we want it to be a nice thickness. So I don't want a lot of bubbles, but we'll see if this is going to work for me today. It's working very well. Keeps my bubbles down. So I have a better idea of whether or not I'm thickening properly or just making a big emulsion. So nice. So I have enrolled in the Ghana Soap School, and this is a method that is legitimately taught in Ghana for making liquid soap. So you take the African soap that is made by the tribes in Africa, in Ghana, and other places, and turn it into a liquid soap using methyl cellulose. Some will use other things. So we need some more, and I just, by guess and by golly, it usually takes about a cup for this much. It's not as, it's not as concentrated as the Crowthix, but it only took a tablespoon to make 2 cups of it, and further reduction in bulk does not do anything bad to this soap. It's a very concentrated soap and makes an incredible shampoo, and we're looking like that's exactly the texture I'm looking for. Let me just double check as soon as I'm sure I've gotten every little bit of that, and I'm going to leave it overnight. That's looking maybe, well, I'm going to leave this overnight and we will see. It's a little looser than I would want, but it was looking like there's no use being in a big rush, in my opinion, because, you know, I get a little company. I don't gotta rush. If I had a big order, then I'd probably use Crowthix and not play with methyl cellulose, but I like the texture that methyl cellulose brings, and it is one of the ingredients used by some of the soap makers there. They also use SLS, which is not particularly popular here, so I probably won't make a version of it with SLS for you. But this is one of my favorite thickeners to work with. So we'll cover everything up and come back tomorrow. Have a peek. Made with methyl cellulose, and there are no additives. There's some essential oil, but nothing, no perfumes were added. Just the regular ingredients that I use for my black soaps. And 3/4 of this, well, the soap ingredients came from Africa, which is pretty cool. There's the first one. So that's our first bottle, and they're a nice travel size, which is good. A little bit bigger than a travel size, so I'm going to check your restrictions on your airlines if you're buying this to travel with. I'll pour it into a smaller bottle. I'm also working on a formula specific for my own region based on the African black soap. So I'm going to be burning blackberry canes, pine and apple wood, and a few other things that are local to try to create a potash that I can use to make British Columbia black soap. So if you're interested in learning more about, you know, this pioneer-based soap making method that could possibly be used here as well. I know that every region of Africa that makes the soap, the African black soap, makes it with what is locally available. So bamboo, which I have in abundance, is used in some regions. I have access to plantain, so I'm going to go ahead and use those too, of course. That's about